Welcome to the farm.
Welcome back to the farm. I'm Justin, and today we're gonna be doing some more boiling. It's really been kind of a bad year for maple sap, for us at least. It's just been too cold. It hasn't been running. We go and do our checks. We've done a few checks now, and we're just not getting much. Maybe some trees have half to a quarter bucket full, which is really nothing, and some trees haven't given us anything yet. And for being this far into the season, it's kind of rare, but it's been too cold. The downside is I think next week is supposed to really warm up, which is bad because it's supposed to stay above freezing at night. And generally when your season gets to be above freezing at night and stay above freezing for a while, or the trees bud, it kind of signifies that maple syrup season's over. I don't know if that means the sap actually just stops running, or if it is just the sap changes. Because I know when the season starts, you get a really sweet, almost amber type syrup, and they call it like a dessert syrup. And then as the season progresses, it gets darker and darker and more bitter until you eventually end up with like your molasses type. So I don't know if that just means it's going to be really bitter and we'll end up with like a molasses. Not sure. But for today, we're going to get this thing fired up, get the sap we started evaporating down in there, get that warming up, and then we're going to go get the other sap out of the refrigerator. So I have Dana and Cadence out here with me. They're going to do a full sap collection today at the farm, the neighbors, and at my sister's. And we decided we're going to do a little guessing game. So we're going to see if you guys can guess how much sap we have collected at this point in the season. We're about halfway through the season, and last year we had 300 gallons with 52 taps. This year we have 36 taps, and we're about halfway through the season.
So, if you got your answer that you want to put in the comments below.
And at the end of the video, we will announce how many gallons we have collected thus far.
And I hope you guys are right.
Good luck. I don't know if you guys can see it, but look at that nice color. It's really coming along nice. And you can kind of see how the three-chamber system works. You add in the back chamber, and it all flows forward into the front chamber. So then as you add the thinner sap, you pour it in here and it pushes the thicker stuff down, and eventually it works its way into here. And then you can drain it off with the valve and finish off as you continue to evaporate. Like I said in a previous video, we don't do that. We just keep evaporating, get it all down to one consistency, and then we take it inside and then we finish it on the stove so we can watch it really closely. I just try to do it one time because it takes a long time to boil it and finish it in the house, which you'll see in a later video. Okay, so we're gonna go to the refrigerator, get the rest of the sap, and then get this thing fired up and boiling before breakfast. All right, so we're at the refrigerator here. Let's get these buckets out and up to the evaporator. It was really cold yesterday, so hopefully this isn't frozen too hard and we can actually get them out fairly decent. This clump already kind of broke loose just testing it. There we go. That's one. So we have a slight issue that I've never had happen before. Our refrigerator worked too well. So they're all completely frozen solid in there. Okay, so I actually went in and had some breakfast, some yummy chocolate chip pancakes, and let these sit. Hopefully it loosened up a little bit sitting in the sun. It looks like I got a ring around it, so I should be able to add it into the boiler and free up this bucket. So I know we said we normally add to the back compartment and let it drain forward, but because it's so frozen and it's not going to flow, I'm just going to add it to the front, because that compartment's going to get the hottest with the fire being in the front up underneath it, so that I'll get this bucket to melt a little bit faster, hopefully. It's gonna go right there. Let's get this fire started. So now that I got the fire started in here, this should warm pretty quickly. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the other 3 buckets. I'm gonna stack them up right here. So hopefully the residual heat and the sun will help thaw those out so they're not so cold or frozen when I go to add them in once this boils down a little bit. And I'll be back when it's time to add some more, and we'll see how these buckets thawed out. So the first bucket of ice finally melted. Took a little while, probably about 40 minutes or so, but I liked how it kind of slowly released in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the next bucket of ice, I'm going to put it in the back chamber and let that slowly melt down while the front half boils away, and hopefully that'll keep a nice consistent flow going. Plus I can free up another bucket for the next round of collections. Alright, so we got the next big clump of ice in there, along with some fluid. It's a little more full than I would like it to be, but we'll test it out, see how it works. Actually, that bucket melted a lot more than I had anticipated. There's a lot more liquid in it already, which is good, because you don't want to keep adding ice and cold, because then it brings your boil down and it takes longer, but we'll let that boil away for a while and see what it does. So adding that second bucket of ice right away, I think, was a mistake. It melted way faster than I was anticipating. I should have just added the liquid and left the ice and then added the ice later, because now it's really kind of over full. You really don't want it to be over the baffles, and it's probably a good ½ inch over the baffles, and actually you probably want it down a little bit from the baffles.
And it's pretty big though.
Yep, it's pretty big. So it's gonna take a little while to boil down now, but we'll just let it go and see what it does. So since I added that last bucket of ice and sap, it's been boiling for about an hour, and it's dropped probably about 1.5 inches of depth, which is good. About 1 inch below the baffles now, which I like. But I wanted to share something that I learned from last year to this year with this particular boiler setup. Last year, what I was trying to do is I was trying to get this thing just hot as I could, so I was cramming firewood in the box, and as soon as the boiler would go back down, I would just cram a bunch more wood in. This year, I'm doing it a little bit different. What I've been doing is, as the boil goes down, I open it up, and I take a poker, and I move the coals and logs around. Then they fire back up, and then it brings the boil back up, and then I only add like 2 to 4 pieces of wood at a time as I need to keep the fire going. And it seems to be working a lot more efficiently. The problem I had last year was continually just cramming wood in there. I got so many coals that got to the point where I couldn't get enough wood in to keep the boil up, and the coals don't seem to be enough to keep it boiling. It keeps it hot and it keeps evaporating, but not boiling. So I'll open this up, and you can see I don't have much fire going, but I still got some wood in here. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of move it around, get some of those coals broken up, get that laid out. Keeping my coals lower, and then I'll go grab a few pieces, put them in. So then I'll let that firewood start to burn, and pretty soon this will be back up to a real good boil. So it's just been a couple minutes, and you can see how much more this section is already boiling. Hopefully you can see it. I know it's kind of hard with the steam, but even this little center section here is boiling pretty good. Just added probably about 2 gallons worth of sap. That bucket that I added from is basically just all ice now, so the next time I add, I'll just put the big hunk of ice in. But I kind of wanted to show you guys the difference in color from what we just added to the end bay. So hopefully it shows up nice in the camera, but this is significantly lighter than this, which is still even a little bit lighter than this. And that just shows how the new stuff pushes the heavier stuff down, and then you'll be able to drain that out. Okay, so Dana and Cadence are back from collecting, and let's see how they did. That's it, huh?
Not a very good day.
No?
Not a good collection.
So I think my sister's house was collected last, maybe what, a week ago?
No, it wasn't that long.
And the stuff around the farm was only a couple days ago.
Yeah.
But still, for that long to only have maybe 4 gallons.
Not good.
Not a good season. Not a good season. So that'll be the end of another maple boiling video. We hope you guys really enjoyed it and maybe learned a little something. And thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And you can also watch us on Facebook and Instagram.
Yep, at Just Kate's Day Farm. So thanks again for watching.
Bye.
Bye. I bet you guys thought that we were gonna forget to give you the total. What did we get, Cadence?
We got 66 gallons.
Mid-season, that's, I don't think, very good.
Not good at all. Not good. Considering
No.
last year we had 300
Nope.
at the end of the season. So.
Yep, but it is what it is.